Yo, what's up everybody, KingGBL here, and welcome back to episode 4 of Level 1 to Legend. In this series, we're taking a Level 1 account, started 5 days ago, and we're going to try to build it up and push it to Legend in one season. The rules are very simple, it's a free-to-play account, no trading, and I'm not going to be grinding an excessive amount. That would be unrealistic for a brand new player playing today. Since the last episode, we've had quite a lot of upgrades on the account. We're starting to really flesh out our squad here. Also, one of the most difficult things about this challenge is preparing yourself for upcoming cups. We don't have Open Great League every week, so the Pokemon that we've built and may have available for Open Great League may not be available for the current couplets in rotation. Currently we have Sunshine Cup, which is quite difficult to build for in this current event. We currently don't have very many grass, ground, or fire type Pokemon spawning. We do have a few normal type Pokemon, and we were able to get together some sort of a team. I played my first battles in Sunshine Cup with a really bad team. I had an under-leveled Ninetales, which is quite highly ranked, but it was around 1200 CP. I was using single move Dubwool with double kick and body slam, and I believe I was using Kamala with Yawn and Play Rough. Really difficult team, and in GBL I was just getting completely destroyed. As a new player trying to adjust to all of these metas, it is extremely difficult, even as somebody like me, who knows this game very well and understands the metas and stuff like that. It is quite difficult. Basically what I had to do is try to prioritize certain Pokemon that are spawning currently, and this on screen is one of them. Nidoran female can evolve into Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is a slightly off-meta pick these days, but definitely is quite a decent pick in Pokemon Go in general. We're basically prioritizing normal Pokemon, and Pokemon that could be of some use to me. I'm still catching all the fields I can possibly find, and I found for me personally, the daily adventure Incense has been extremely useful for me to try and get some Pokemon. When I played GBL a few days ago, I think I had back-to-back 05s or maybe a 1-4 in there somewhere. It was really difficult to get the items, the Stardust, and all of the stuff you'd want to earn from GBL. At that point, I decided I have to get out and grind a little bit more, and that's basically what we're going to do. I'm going to hunt for Nidorans. We also currently have the Team Rocket event, so if I can get some decent Pokemon that may be very useful later in the season, such as Totodile if possible, which is very rare nowadays. I think Shadow Hoppip is definitely one that I'm going to prioritize as much as possible. Shadow Golett is a Pokemon that I definitely need, and if possible guys, I want to try to get myself a decent Mankey for the upcoming Mankey Community Day. This event is pretty bad at the minute. This is definitely a very difficult time to start this challenge. I think had I started the challenge a little bit earlier in the season, it would have been a lot easier. But like I said, we're prioritizing some normal type Pokemon, and I'm basically just hoping that the daily adventure Incense can really help me out here. I need to catch some decent Pokemon that are going to be of some use to me in this series. As you can see here, the daily adventure Incense came in so clutch here. We got a Miltank, and as you've seen slightly earlier, we got ourselves a Golett. I don't really care about IVs currently, I just need something that I can use for GBL. We get a Pelipper with question marks, meaning it's a high CP that I've never had before. So that Pelipper could be super useful. 1525. That's going to really help me beat gyms, rocket grunts, and all that kind of stuff. You have to remember, we're not just trying to build stuff for GBL, we have to try to flesh out this account as well as possible. We need to be able to beat gyms, because we need to upgrade our storage at some point. It's going to be very difficult to do that with 1400, 1500 CP Pokemon, so the more we can get the better. We're going through research as well, trying to get as much out of there as possible, and later on in the video, we get something in research that really helps us out, so stay tuned for that. Guys, if you're enjoying the series so far, give me your feedback in the comments down below. This is not your typical GBL video, and as such, people tend to be looking for best teams to run in the Sunshine Cup. I'm trying to do something a little bit different, so if you do like it, I really appreciate all the comments and everything you guys have given so far, and all of the likes and support in the videos. I really enjoy making these, and if you enjoy watching them, please drop a like on them, comment, it helps out the YouTube algorithm. I wasn't able to stream or upload yesterday, but this is the team I was using, and guys, it was just absolutely terrible. So I realized that I have to come out for another day. I really have to try to get something together for Sunshine Cup that's going to work. This team is definitely not going to work at all. I'm on Ice Beam on Miltank, I'm on Yawn, and Play Rough on the Kamala, and we have a single move Dubwool. I really need to start making progress, I need to get some better Pokemon, and the very next day, that's what I decided to do. The Aircon guy was here, it took him several hours to do everything, so while he was here, I just headed out, played some Pokemon, went to my local park. If you guys are curious, like if I am grinding for my normal account, where I go, what I do, this is pretty much where I go to. Another reason I went here is because a few days ago, I was grinding a few Team Rocket grunts, and I noticed that this area is actually nesting Shroomish. So I decided, okay, if we can get Shroomish and evolve it into Breloom, that would be amazing for this cup. And we actually get ourselves a Shadow Whipper here, which is great. And looking at the IVs, not too terrible at all. I went to this place, and as it turns out, it's actually now a Sudowoodo nest, so a little bit disappointing, but Sudowoodo could be very useful. Of course they nerf counter, but with Rock Throw Meteor Beam, it could at the very least be good for grunts. We're trying to catch as many Grimers as possible here as well. I've caught a rank 7 Mach, So if I can get the candies for that, that's definitely going to be super useful for some meta or even Open Great League. By the way, have a look at that Pokestop. You guys can skip back and look at it if you want. There definitely are some interesting monuments in Japan. But we catch as many Sudowoodos as possible. Also, we're catching Fungus because, of course, it's boosted Stardust, but this could be another option for us to evolve into a Pokemon that will be eligible in the Sunshine Cup as well. Unfortunately, no good IVs for it yet, but they are still spawning pretty commonly. Like I said, guys, over the last couple of days, we've done a decent amount of grinding. I think, like I said, one of our main priorities here is to get this Mankey. As I've mentioned a few times, I'm not like a huge grinder in this game. I don't play this game all day. Honestly, on my main account, because the game is kind of boring at this point, I feel like the events have got a lot worse with spawns. The Pokemon that are the main featured Pokemon have been very, very boring recently, in my opinion. And the Team Rocket events, I think they've definitely been nerfed pretty hard. I've not really been grinding so much. But guys, we're getting through this research, and we get a Leafeon. This is absolutely huge for us. This is so huge for us. Getting Leafeon for GBL is absolutely huge. This Pokemon knows Quick Attack and Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade is one of the best moves in the game. Leafeon as a Pokemon is not meta, but having a Pokemon that's got two good moves, right? Quick Attack, a great fast move, and Leaf Blade, especially when we need some grass Pokemon for this cup, this is absolutely huge. I do not care about IVs. We're going to power up this Leafeon, and this will be part of our team for the upcoming battles. I'm also just trying my best to get as much XP as possible. If you guys are trying to level up quickly, I recommend posting your friend codes in Discords, on Twitter, Facebook, online, anywhere. Get as many friends as you can, because even just leveling friends up to 1 star gives you 5k XP. So whenever you're starting this game off, that can be massive. I'm trying to get through research. Big thank you to everybody who's added me as a friend. I don't really have a great ability to do raids currently. I don't have very many high CP Pokemon. I decided to solo the Skorupi. We actually do have the Mawile raid day coming up this weekend, which I think could be very, very vital for us. If we can get some free fast TMs and charge TMs this weekend, that's going to help out so much. And Mawile as a Pokemon in GBL for like an RPS Pokemon with Fire Fang or even buffed Fairy Wind, that could really help out. And also, just having a Mega Pokemon available with Fairy and Steel typing will give us extra candy. We almost get the Hundo there, which is hilarious. So at that point, I went home for a few hours to help out with the aircon. I went on my walk to work, and guys, look at that. Look what we got. I think that's a 0.14.7 or something like that. 0.14.10 was it? Those are insane IVs. That's going to be absolutely huge. Having a high rank Wigglytuff, being able to charm down the competition in these limited metas, I am definitely going to grind my Jigglypuffs as much as possible. Again, we are trying to catch pretty much everything, especially if it's a Pokemon that we need candy for, and especially if it's a new Pokemon. We're trying to get as much XP. In the bottom left here, you can see we're on level 25. I do believe we make it up to level 26 here. Basically with this, you know, what I'm trying to do is, I only have a limited amount of time, right? So I'm not going to battle every single grunt, I'm not going to catch every single Pokemon, because within the limited time that I'm going to be playing, I don't want to be wasting it in catching Spearows, right? My Incense could spawn something a lot better than Spearow. In that rocket balloon there's something, but I don't actually need it. I can't remember what it was. I'm basically just trying not to waste my time on things that are not really going to help us along here. We're not worried about the long term here necessarily. We're only worried about the immediate future. If I fail to get Legend this season, that means I've completely failed this challenge, and I basically need to spend my time as efficiently as possible. So guys, we're going to be hopping into the battle squad soon. Just before we do, I want to show you here, we're currently on our 6-day streak. I think I might try to do something tomorrow. We do actually catch this Raticate here, which is nice. You're going to see that this is going to be very useful, this Raticate. Just giving you guys a quick overview of the account, I've really struggled to get a good Nidoran. We have 232 candies, and this is the best one that we've got. However, its rank is really low, it goes to like 1480 CP. If I don't get a better one, I could end up just building this one. We got a few half-decent things. We caught this Tangela, which could be like an option for the Sunshine Cup. I've got this Eevee right here with pretty decent IVs, which could be like a Flareon or something like that. As you can see, we've got a few higher CP Pokemon, and we got the rank 4 Wigglytuff. This is honestly insane. Rank 4 Wigglytuff is insane. Now looking at this right here, this Barboach, obviously I TM'd it off. It's a Great League rank 99. This is absolutely huge. Shadow Whiscash could be huge for us. As I mentioned, we built the Leafeon, Quick Attack Leaf Blade, such a good moveset, and we actually ended up getting this, which I thought was quite funny, a rank 256 Ninetales. Now, a Pokemon that's been picking up a lot of traction this season is Raticate. I'm actually going to evolve this right here. We have TM'd off Frustration. Getting a Raticate, a Shadow Raticate for Great League, I think this could be amazing. I might actually have a look to see what the Purified IVs are, because have a look at this, guys. That's incredible. Those are incredible IVs. I've got very lucky so far. I'm not going to purify it just yet, but if we do power this up, it's going to be fairly expensive, I would say. I actually might have to purify this. We have a few bits and pieces that are kind of fine here, and we do actually have this Golett, which is amazing. I hope in the Halloween event, I haven't fully checked it, but I hope that these are spawning in the wild. That would be really good for Golurk. I have my Galarian Slowbro and Slowking, which may be useful at some point. and of course we do have a lot of candy for them. We have this rank 82 Ninetales, which done a decent amount of work in GBL for me. And apart from that, guys, these are just the things that we had before. I've actually put 2 moves on my Dubwool, which is very, very helpful. And we do have the candies here for the rank 3 Alakazam. I think at some point I have to try to use the 0-15-15 Alakazam. It would really be a shame not to. This will of course help us with the collection challenge. I do need to evolve a few more things for that. Once again, big thank you to everybody who added me as a friend. Feel free to add me if you guys are interested. And apart from that, guys, we're just trying to get through all of this research as quickly as possible. Possibly getting this Grass and Gratitude finished. For Shaman could be quite decent. Purifying Pokemon is expensive. Of course, we get the dust back there if we use... We do need to try and get our Mega Beedrill here. And as you can see, we are getting through this pretty well. We have a few more challenges here to do. I want to get these rare candies for Great Body. I need to start working on my body a little bit more. Purifying 20 Shadow Pokemon or 5 Raid Passes, that might be worth it. Reaching Ultra Body with a Pokemon, of course free Super Incubators, super useful. And then of course 30 days of Pokestops. I don't know what's in there, but we'll see. We will get the eggs one quite soon. So this definitely has been one of the best things I've done on this account. I'm going to just power this up a little bit because I realize I've got some research tasks. Grab these Ultra Balls right here. I think I might try to do a Lucky Egg tomorrow with a lot of friendship level ups. We'll grab this, see what it is. It could be something useful. It is a Sableye, which of course is boosted dust. I might have to have a look online to see what this research is, but guys, without any further ado, let's go on ahead and hop on into the battles. And guys, I'm happy to say, after all the upgrades in the account, we had a massively better day here today. I done 3 sets, I had a 5-0 in my first 2 sets, and I believe I went positive in the third. The team I'm running today here is Dubwool with Body Slam and Payback. We're running Ninetales with Fire Spin and Scorching Sands. I think it's like a 1360 CP or something. It's not fully powered up. And then of course the Leafeon with Leaf Blade and Quick Attack. I think I'm around rank 11. I may have to do some live streams on this because I do need to start ranking up pretty quickly here. I'm noticing that the teams I'm starting to face are a lot more normal. I started seeing a few Talonflames. I started seeing a few Pokemon that are slightly more meta. Of course, in the early ranks, you'll see Raichus and lots of weird stuff. We're still seeing some weird stuff with Nidoking, Zangoose, of course Heatmore, not exactly what you would call meta. I just found that having a Pokemon with 2 moves like Dubwool, it's a really cheap Pokemon, really great budget option. I highly recommend if you're starting GBL, or if you've only started recently, Dubwool is still a very good option. It got nerfed a little bit with the Body Slam nerf, but it has great coverage with Body Slam, Payback, or you can even run it with Wild Charge, which is very useful. In this battle here, Leafeon is just putting in so much work. Whenever I first seen it, I just knew this was going to be super good for me. I've really been struggling in GBL, of course, using terrible Pokemon with terrible movesets, but just having spammy Leaf Blade, it just helped out so much. And Leafeon, it hits like an absolute truck. Wins CMP against most of the meta. As you can see here, the opponent has a Quagsire, and then they end up coming into, I think that's a Blaziken. I was just expecting the opponent to shield, and then we come into our double safe swap. They shield twice, I'm going to shield here. They're on counter, this is somewhat of a core breaker to my team. But I think I can just Body Slam spam through it, and the opponent comes into Excadrill. We come in here with the Leafeon, shield up, look to get off a Leaf Blade on the opponent, and that is going to be basically good games. Excadrill, very, very cool Pokemon, but just a little bit too glassy, I would say. We go 5-0 in the first set, and we do get a Mindfu here. I believe I got very lucky with Charge TMs. I believe I got free from my GBL sets, which is amazing. Now we're starting to see more meta stuff. Trevenant lead with a normal type and a Charmer in the back. This is bad news for me. I think I probably should have shielded that move, but I decided to get a farm down with Ninetales instead. You don't always have to shield, sometimes getting a big farm down can be really helpful. Now I do believe I shield this move, I need to keep some health on this. As you can see, it's not fully powered up, and we do go for a Scorching Sands. Thankfully the opponents did not come in Trevenant, and you're going to see that resisted Leaf Blades from Leafeon just do so much damage. The opponent might be single moved, they go for the Seed Bomb, we go for the Leaf Blade, and it's starting to threaten their health here. We built up to back. Leafeon actually beats Trevenant at CMP. We snipe it with a Fire Spin, shield up whatever the opponent wants to throw, and basically Scorching Sands for the win. Ninetales, I think, once we get it fully powered up and double moved, is going to be very good as well. It's definitely slightly more meta than a lot of stuff. Now in the next battle, I was so surprised. We've seen a Flygon lead. This is one of the best Pokemon in this cup, and we almost one-shot it with the Leafeon. Guys, the battles are super sped up, because I'm sure like there's not too much to say about these. The opponent comes into Heatran here, Shadow Heatran, and then a Clodsire in the back as well. The opponent here is definitely using much better Pokemon, and I believe in some of these battles, one of my opponents attempted to make a catch. I'm starting to see more fundamental gameplay coming in. I'm starting to see Clodsires, Shadow Flygon, Shadow Heatran. Heatran, of course, not a super meta Pokemon, but it's meta enough. I think the Heatran banked enough for a Stone Edge, so I decided to take the move from this. I know Ninetales can survive it. Ninetales is fantastic bulk, and we see here in the next battle, the opponent's got a Sceptile. We're going to go for Body Slam spam here. They do come into the Quagsire, which of course is very good for Leafeon. I'm happy to take these moves. I'm going to go for a big Payback. The opponent's seen the Body Slam. Most people only have one move, but the opponent does end up shielding it. I thought they would maybe let that through. They're going to go for another Mud Bomb here by the looks of things. And with Leafeon here, I believe we just get rid of this as soon as possible. They come into the Wigglytuff. You're going to see these Leaf Blades just absolutely destroy it. And we can come into our Ninetales to finish this off. They go for Frenzy Plant. So the opponent here, they did play the Calm Day. Have the Legacy move. I think they banked a move on the Quaggy here. Of course we shield up. Far off the Scorching Sands, and that's going to be good games. I think if you're going to go single moved on Ninetales, you probably do want Weather Ball because it's a bit spammy. Now here it is, guys. Nidoqueen, such a tricky Pokemon for my team here. It kind of core breaks me. I decided to throw a move with Leafeon and then come into the Dubwool. The opponent comes into Obstagoon, and I think I can kind of just take this outright. Double kicks are doubled super effective. We take it out. In comes Nidoqueen. I'm expecting the Poison Fang. I commit to the big move here. I end up shielding to get off the payback because I want to get all shields down. I figure I can come into Ninetales here. Hopefully they don't have Earth Power. I believe that was a CMP tie. We get rid of it with the Scorching Sands. In comes the Wigglytuff in the back, and the opponent concedes there. We have a Licky in the next match. Again, a slightly more meta pick, a Pokemon that's been buffed this season. We are starting to see trainers, you know, a little bit more experienced at the game. They kind of know what they're doing, and they kind of know which Pokemon to go for. I think maybe in the next video I'll speed up the battles a little bit less, because I think it's a little bit too sped up here, to be fair. I'll speed down the battles a little bit for the remainder here. But Licky, they're going to fire off a Shadow Ball of all things. Of course, double resisted. We don't have to worry about that at all. We're going to go for the big payback on the Greedent. Again, Greedent being another somewhat meta Pokemon. As we speak, I'm trying to catch a Vulpix. I want to try to get these Vulpix candies to get a second move. Level up this Ninetales fully into a 1500 CP Pokemon. Of course, when you're using GBL, it goes without saying, you want to try to get your Pokemon as close to 1500 CP as possible. When you're hunting for Pokemon, you tend to be looking for Pokemon with 0 attack. Typically, Pokemon with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attack have much better stat product, go up to a higher level, therefore gain just basically a lot more attack, defense, HP. So you always should hunt for those Pokemon. Anyway guys, we get another 5-0, and we get 5, honestly I would have preferred to get 5 items in that set for a 5-0, and here we go, we've got Talonflame lead. We bring in Ninetales. This is really difficult. I'm going to shield, it could be a Brave Bird, they go for the Fly, and then they come into the Flygon. We're going to go for Scorching Sands. This certainly will do a lot of damage. The opponent shields up the move, and they get the attack drop, which is great. And we can see here, this is a really meta team, right? The opponent's committing to the farm down. They recognize they may not be able to get it. If I had a fully maxed out Ninetales, we could be in a good position here. This is kind of tricky. They come into Whimsicott. We might be just cooked here, guys. I think we might just be cooked here. We do get a 10-game winning streak, but unfortunately, I think this is where it comes to an end. The opponent has a really strong meta team for this cup. You could use a team like this and have great success with it if you're trying to use some more meta-relevant Pokemon. Those Pokemon definitely just completely cook my team, and unfortunately we lose that one. We get a Ludicolo. Again, not super meta, but it's definitely a very decent Pokemon, fully powered up and everything. Leaf Blades are neutral, because this is a grass and water type. I shield up a potential Leaf Storm, because even though resisted, it would do a lot of damage. The opponent comes into Vigoroth. I wonder if this opponent has heard about the season update. Counter was nerfed, so if you're still using Pokemon like Medicham, Annihilape, they may not be the best options, certainly not Vigoroth, because as you can see, they're on Bulldoze as well, which is quite funny. I assume this opponent has not been playing too much GBL recently, and we do come out with Payback here, which does a lot of damage. I get off another Leaf Blade. I basically want to try to get rid of this thing, and in comes a Swampert. This is going to be GG's. We go for a CMP tie on the Surf, or of course it could be a Hydro Cannon, and that's good games right there. So, currently we're 11-1, having a very good time here, and like I said, just having some better Pokemon really makes a massive difference. Leafeon into Skeledirge, terrible lead, we come into the Dubwool right here. Because Dubwool is basically my best Pokemon, I'm pretty happy to invest shields in it quite often. I'm going to go for a free and throw here. I go for the Body Slam bait here, hoping the opponent just shields up everything. I 1 throw. The opponent probably thinks this is just another Body Slam, but it is the payback. They come into their own Dubwool. A Man of Culture, they throw the move right away. I can survive it, so I let it go. We go for a big payback, which will do a lot of damage, and we should be in a pretty fine position now. The opponent comes into a Marowak. Can we still beat this? Does the opponent know about the Scorching Sands? The opponent does have buff Bone Club. This is going to be a little bit awkward. Can we still win this here? Bone Club, as you can see, doesn't do too much damage, but it's so much more spammy than my move. I basically need to get this move off here, try to get the opponent's final shield, come in with Leafeon, and just basically try to clean it up. The opponent thankfully throws a move on the Ninetales here. We come into Leafeon, and they come into the Dubwool here. This is somewhat more of a decent battle. You are seeing that the players' levels are increasing as you get to this range. You're going to see more experienced players, and basically when you get to this point, you need to be using some more sort of meta Pokemon, and you need to be using good move timing when you're throwing moves. When you're trying to improve at GBL, I highly recommend checking out some other content creators' videos about fast move timing. makes a massive difference. But guys, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Like I said, if you did, it really helps out if you do drop a like on it. Subscribe to the channel. The opponent goes for a Night Slash right here. We're going to finish it off with this battle right here. Again, give me your feedback in the comment section down below. I had about 2 days of footage, but I felt that a lot of the stuff I showed you today was very relevant in the account building process. Once we get a little bit further in the series, I will start showcasing a little bit more of the battling side of things. I think we're just really trying to get through the early ranks, really trying to level up the account, and try to do all of the stuff that's relevant for that. More than showing battles at rank sort of 10, 15 and all that kind of stuff. Once we gain Elo, at that point we're going to be pushing for Ace if we don't get above Ace at the start, Veteran, Expert, and then of course the final push to Legend. I need to have a look for all of the cups, see which Pokemon I need to gain and prepare for. I think that might be something I'll talk about in the next video, but thank you everybody for watching, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all next time.